I'm Helen Bradley. Welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to talk about making and using Smart, Regular and the Target collection in Lightroom. Before we get started looking at collections, let's have a look and see what it is that I'm going to cover in this video. I'm going to explain to you the two different types of collections in Lightroom. I'm going to tell you how they differ and why you might want to use collections in your work. And we're going to go ahead and actually create a couple of collections, and we're also going to look at a special type of collection called the Target collection. You'll find collections in Lightroom in the library module, and they're here below the folders. So you have your navigator, which shows you the currently selected image. You've got your catalog collections here, all photographs, which is all your photographs, a quick collection and previous import. Then you've got your regular folders, which are your folder structure from inside Lightroom, which also mimics the folder structure on your disk. And then we have collections, and you can see that I have really quite a few collections because I use them quite a lot. We're looking right now at a collection called Cambridge Slideshow. Now this is a regular collection because its icon looks like this. These are a different type of collection. These are smart collections, but this one's a regular one. The two kinds of collections are regular and smart. And in looking at this regular collection, there are a few things that are different in this collection to, for example, a smart collection. This regular collection, I can add images to it, so I can decide what I want in this collection and what I don't want in it. Now if I come to this image, for example, and I think I don't want it in the collection, I just have to right click it and choose Remove from Collection, and it goes. So I have a lot of control over this collection. I've created it myself, and I've managed adding all the images to it that I want to have in that collection. That's a regular collection. The other thing that you can do in a regular collection that you can't do in a smart collection is you can reorder the images. So I can decide exactly which order I want these images to be in. Now, considering I created this quite some time ago for a slideshow, that would be fairly important to me, because if I have a slideshow, I'd really like the images to appear in the slideshow in the order that I determine. So much right now for a regular collection. Let's go and have a look at smart collections. Here we have a smart collection. It's called Drake Oyster because I made this smart collection when I'd visited the Drake Oyster farm in California. You can tell it's a smart collection because its icon is a little bit different to a regular collection. Also, if I hold my mouse pointer over the icon, it tells me that it's a smart collection. Now with a smart collection, I don't have user order, so I can't actually arrange these images in an order that I want them to be in. They just don't work that way. I also can't remove an image from the collection. I can remove it from Lightroom, but there's no remove from collection. And the reason for this is that smart collections are based on a filter. So let's just double click here to open up the filter that is controlling this smart collection. The smart collection has a name. It's called Drake Oyster, and the keywords are that it contains oyster. So what's happening is that any particular image anywhere in my catalog that has a keyword that is oyster is in this collection, and only if it has the keyword oyster. So if I had an image that I'd shot, for example, in London, and I'd been eating oysters and I'd shot a plate of oysters and I'd given the keyword oyster to that image, then it would appear in here because the filter is what's deciding what's in this collection and what's not. I can't remove an image from this collection by simply removing it, but if I take away its keyword, then it's going to disappear. So let's take this image here, this dark image here, and let's go and open the keywording list. And here are the keywords for this particular image, and you can see, not surprisingly, it has the keyword oyster. Well, it has to have the keyword oyster or it wouldn't be in this collection in the first place. But let's see what happens if we remove the keyword oyster from this image. Let's take it out and let's press enter. then the image disappears from this collection because it no longer matches the filter. It doesn't have the keyword oyster in it, so it's removed from that collection. So smart collections are collections that you can create based on things that are in the image. Lightroom ships with some smart collections. It has a collection called Past Month, which are photos that you have captured and imported within the last 1 month. Well, I haven't imported anything into Lightroom recently. There's a recently modified collection. These are images that you've modified within the last 2 days. Well, you can see I've been in Lightroom doing a bit of work lately. And there's a collection called video files. So if you have video files anywhere in your catalog, files of the file type video, then they're going to appear in here. There's also a collection called Without Keywords, and that's a little bit embarrassing for me because I don't do a lot of keywording. As you can see, 64,000 of my images don't have keywords. Now you can create your own smart collections and you can create your own regular collections. So let's go now and have a look at how we would create each of these. I have a set of images here that I shot in Norway, and I had already been through these images and flagged the ones that I liked best. I need to pare these down to an even smaller group of photos, but I'm going to start with the flagged images. So from this collection, I'm going to click here on the filter bar, and I'm going to click to select just the flagged images. And here is the beginnings of my collection. Now I've probably got way too many images, but it's a good start. So I'm going to make a collection of these images. So beginning, I'm going to press Ctrl+A to select all of the images that are showing with this filter turned on, the filter that is all the flagged images. And now I'm going to go and open my collections panel. I'm going to click here to create a brand new collection. And it's going to be a regular collection. So I'm just going to click Create Collection. And I'm going to call this Best of Norway. And I do want to include the selected photos. So the photos that I had selected, there are 148 of them, they were the ones that had their flag turned on, are now going to be the basis of this Best of Norway collection. I could also select to make new virtual copies if I wanted to, but I don't, so I'm just going to click Create. And now I have a collection which is the Best of Norway. Now some of these images there's a lot of images here and probably more than I actually want in this collection. So I would go through now and remove the images that I no longer want in the collection. Right click the image and choose Remove from Collection. And then I can continue to go through the collection to remove those images that I don't want in that collection. Now there is also another way that I could work with this collection, and that is by creating it as the target collection. I'm going to right click my collection name and I'm going to choose Set as Target Collection. Now the target collection is a special collection. You can only have one of them at a time, and when a collection is the target collection, it has a little plus symbol beside it that tells you that it is the target collection. Now the special feature of a target collection is that you can add an image to it by pressing the letter B, and you can remove an image that's already in the target collection from that target collection by again pressing the letter B. So I'm going to use that feature now to start removing the images that I don't want. This one here I don't want in this collection, so I'm just going to press the letter B and it gets removed. And the letter B here to remove that. And there are too many of these, so I'm going to remove the ones that I don't want by just selecting them and pressing the letter B. And I would continue through this collection just working with those images and just removing those that I didn't want to have in this particular collection. That's one of the benefits of using a regular collection, is that you can choose what goes in it and what does not. Now I'm going to go back also to my folder of images that I shot in Norway, and I'm going to see if there are perhaps some images that weren't flagged that I may want to add to this collection. So let's just go and find something that does not have the flag attached to it. Well, right now I'm on a custom filter, so I'm only seeing the flagged images. So let's go back and remove this filter by clicking Filters Off. Now I'm back in all the images that I shot in Norway, and I have flagged and unflagged images. So let's go and find something that's not flagged that we can add to our collection. Well, let's say that for argument's sake we like this image. Now I can add it to the Norway collection by just pressing the letter B, because Norway is the best of Norway is my target collection. So I can come through here, and any image that I see that I like, that I want to add to that collection, I know it's not in the collection because it doesn't have its flag turned on. I can just select it and press the letter B, and then it's added to that collection. We can tell that an image is in a collection by this little thumbnail icon. It's like two little rectangles over the top of each other. It tells us that the image is in a collection. And if we click on that little thumbnail icon, we can see that it's in Best of Norway. Well, we just put it there, that's not surprising. It's also in one called Urban Grunge, so I've already put it in a second collection. So there is how to create a regular collection and how to add an image to a regular collection. The easiest way really is to work with this target collection, as it's a really powerful feature in Lightroom. Of course, you can also add a photo to a collection at any time by just dragging and dropping it onto the collection. But you'll find that when you have a small screen, lots of folders, lots of collections, it's probably actually easier to set up your target collection and just use that. It's a much easier way of seeing everything that you have and being able to actually get your images from a folder into a collection. But right now here I'm actually going to do the drag and drop. I have my folder of Norway images here, so I'm just going to take this one and I'm going to drag and drop it onto the Best of Norway collection. So I can do it with drag and drop, but you'll probably find that the target collection feature is the better way of doing it. So now we've looked at the target collection, we've looked at creating a regular collection. Let's go and create a smart collection. Now I'm going to create a smart collection of images that I've shot in London and that are pretty good images. So I'm going to start by clicking here and create a smart collection. Now these are going to be London images. And now I have to think in terms of what is going to identify an image as being a London image, and a pretty good one at that. Well, first of all, I want the rating to be greater than or equal to 2, because I tend to rate my images on 1, 2, and 3 stars, at least more recently. So there's a good chance that greater than or equal to 2 stars are going to be the better of my images. But we need to isolate them too to those that were shot in London. So I'm going to click the plus sign here to add a filter so that it's going to have to match both of these rules. It has to be greater than equal to 2, and it has to be identifiable as having been shot in London. So let's look and see how we would identify an image as being shot in London. Let's have a look and see what our options are. Well, we can filter by rating, or pick flag, or label color, or label text, or images that have smart previews. None of those is going to help me here. Let's look at source. Well, source is a particular folder, and that might be able to help me because I tend to label my folders with names, and London photos always have London in the folder name. So I'm just going to click folder, and let's see what we can do here. Well, we can do folder contains, contains all, contains words, doesn't contain, starts with, or ends with. Well, it just needs to contain the word London. So I'm going to type London. And I think that's going to be good enough to filter out my London images. So let's click create and let's see what happens. Here is my new folder of London images. And Lightroom has found 296 images of those that I have shot in London that have that criteria associated with them. they're 2 stars or better, and they're in a folder that contains the word London. Let's click on this image and see what we can learn about it. Well, I'm going to go to its folder in the library and see where it came from. Well, it's from a series of images that I shot in London in 2012. Let's go back to our collection of London images and let's see something else that's in there. Let's go to some earlier shots, right click and see where this is. Well, this is from some images that I shot in London in 2008. So you can see that Lightroom has gone to all the folders that have the word London in the folder name, and it's picked out all the images that are 2 stars or better. Images are in this collection because they comply with the filter, they match the filter. They're in a folder that has the word London in its name, and they're 2 star or better images. So I can't remove an image from this collection, so I can't right click it and choose remove from collection because there is no option to do so. The only way that I can remove it from a collection is by either removing it from that London folder or folder that has London in its name, or by changing its rating. So if I determine that this really isn't a 3-star image, it's just really a 1 star, I'm going to change its rating to 1 star. And you can see that it's automatically removed from this folder because it no longer matches that filter. Smart collections are very helpful when you've already done some assessment of your images and you want to pull out the best of those based on some criteria that you've already determined your images have. So, for example, 3 or 4 star ratings or whatever. Regular collections are really handy to create when you're really not sure that you want an image in the collection or not, but you want to be able to create that collection and manage it and add images to it or remove images from it yourself. Collections are a handy way of getting your images together. They can come from multiple folders. They even can come from multiple drives into a collection. You're not making duplicate images. You're just pointing to the images in their source location. And from here, if we wanted to go and process these images, well, we could go straight to the develop module, and then we would have only these images accessible to us. If we wanted to make a slideshow of these images, we can go to the slideshow module, and we're working only with the images that we select. And ditto print, web, book, any of those modules. I'm Helen Bradley. Thank you for joining me for this video tutorial. Look out for more of my video tutorials here on my YouTube channel. And consider subscribing to my channel and you'll be alerted when new videos are released. And visit my website at projectwoman.com for more tips, tricks and tutorials on a range of applications including Photoshop, Lightroom, Illustrator and a whole lot more.